Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So, Hare Krishna, good morning. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, entitled Krishna is the Source of All Incarnations, Text 25. So I've got some help here. So, Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Is it on the screen? Yeah. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayesu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpati. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Mataji. Athaso Yuga Sandhyayam. Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu. Janita Vishnu Yashaso. Namna Kalkir Jagatpatihi. Okay. So we'll go for the word for word. Atha, thereafter. Aso, the same Lord. Yuga Sandhyayam, at the conjunction of the yugas. Dasyu, plunderers. Prayeshu, almost all. Rajasu, the governing personalities. Janita will take his birth. Vishnu, named Vishnu. Yashasaha, surnamed Yasha. Namna, in the name of. Kalkihi, the incarnation of the Lord. Jagatpatihi, the Lord of the creation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thereafter, at the conjunction of the two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. Purport. Here is another foretelling of the advent of Lord Kalki, the incarnation of Godhead. He is to appear at the conjunction of the two yugas, namely at the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of Satya Yuga. The cycle of the four yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali, rotates like the calendar months. The present Kali Yuga lasts 432,000 years, out of which we have passed only 5,000 years after the battle of Kurukshetra and the end of the regime of King Parikshit. So, there are 427,000 years balance yet to be finished. Therefore, at the end of this period, the incarnation of Kalki will take place, as foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The name of his father, Vishnu Yasha, a learned Brahmana, and the village Shambhala are also mentioned. As above mentioned, all these foretellings will prove to be factual in chronological order. That is the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadipashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So translation once more. Thereafter, at the conjunction of two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. So, Hare Krishna. This is a bit of a last-minute attempt, so please forgive me for any shortcomings. But just to hold the place for the class tomorrow, we thought that it would be good to read the verse today. So, some things. Okay, yep. So this chapter, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. We've been going through many of the main incarnations of the Lord listed here. Does anyone remember any of the incarnations previously listed in this chapter? Yeah, boar. The boar is mentioned. I can't remember if the fish is actually mentioned. Let's have a quick look. It's always good. Let's go through and I know I've done it a couple of times already, but it's always nice to remember. Yeah. So, there's this classic list of 10 incarnations that we hear of, and but this list contains some of them, but not all of them, and it also contains some extra ones which are not in the 10. So let's just refresh. So the first incarnation is the Purusha incarnation, which is Mahavishnu. And the second incarnation here is the boar incarnation. The third is the Devarishi Narada, empowered incarnation. The fourth incarnation is Nara and Narayan. The fifth is Lord Kapiladev. The sixth is the son of Atri Rishi. The 7th is Yagya, the son of Prajapati. The 8th was King Rishabhadev. The 9th was King Prithu Maharaj. And then the next one mentioned is the fish incarnation, the Matsya Avatar. And the 11th incarnation is the tortoise. What's the tortoise? What's Kurmadev? Kurmadev, yeah. The 12th incarnation is Lord Dhanvantari, who is carrying a pot of nectar. So he's also the god of Ayurveda, of medicine, basically. And the 15th is the dwarf Brahmana, Vamanadev. The 16th is Parashuram, Bhrigupati. The 17th is Srila Vyasadev. The 18th is Lord Ramachandra. And just on that note, in the 19th and 20th incarnation, who appeared just now? Krishna Balaram ki, Gauranitai ki, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. Okay. So the last two verses, and the last one was text 25, where it was mentioned Lord Buddha. Okay. And today's verse, text 25, we're mentioning Lord Kalki. So can anyone mention anything interesting about today's verse and the previous verse compared to all the other verses and other incarnations that were mentioned? Does anything come to mind about the last two? Text 24, Lord Buddha, and text 25, Lord Kalki. That is the order, yeah. Anything further on that? Compared to the previous ones, like Mahavishnu, the boar incarnation, the tortoise incarnation, the fish incarnation, all these different incarnations. And 24 is Buddha, and 25 is Kalki. So can anyone notice any difference there? Yes. That's basically the point. Is that at the time, Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal, and it's spoken at different times to different people. At the beginning of creation, Lord Krishna spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma in just 4 verses. These verses are in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Lord Brahma has a body made of pure intelligence, he's the most intelligent being in this material universe. He can understand very easily. Just like, for example, if someone is a very experienced cook in the kitchen, like a chef or a baker, if you tell them, can you please make a chocolate cake? They'll be like, okay. And they'll go and make a chocolate cake. So you're giving them some instruction, they make the chocolate cake. But to someone who has absolutely no experience at all, those instructions have to be opened up and expanded more and more and more and more. You have to say, this is the kitchen, this is how you turn on the fire, this is called flour. And you mix the flour with water and some, I don't know much about cooking cake, and some chocolate and some baking soda, and then you have to mix it together in this machine for this long. So like for us, who have very limited intelligence in this age of Kali Yuga, Srimad Bhagavatam has been expanded by Srila Vyasadeva into how many verses? Srimad Bhagavatam? 18,000 verses. And not only that, we have the most beautiful expansions from Srila Prabhupada in the form of his purports to further help us to understand, because otherwise we would understand nothing without the Prabhupada purports. But historically, in terms of the Srimad Bhagavatam that we are referring to now, in terms of the conversation between Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj about 5,000 years ago, at that time, all the incarnations previously mentioned had appeared. Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna had appeared and had basically just about disappearing at that same time as well.
Can I share something quick? In this Manvantara, the only Manvantara in the whole cycle, because Lord Chaitanya appears, is actually the incarnation to destroy the demons, and Kalki will not come in this Manvantara, because Lord Chaitanya appears.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. In terms of the time frame of this Srimad Bhagavatam, when it was spoken, Lord Buddha had not yet appeared, and Lord Kalki had also not yet appeared. So that is the, and on this note, we'll refer to some of Srila Prabhupada's purport, and also Prabhupada gave a class on this verse as well, which we will just briefly reference. So the key point here is, if we look in the purport, Srimad Bhagavatam is predicting the future. That is the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. We may have heard, especially in India, many people claiming to be avatar, or many, and even especially Kalki avatar, because generally it's understood that Kalki is still to come. So many people over the last many years have claimed that, oh, I am Kalki avatar. And I heard that there was one kind of TV reporter news show, and he individually invited so many different people who claimed to be Kalki avatar, and they invited them onto the same news interview show all at the same time. So I haven't seen it, but apparently there must have been, a group of them, 5 or 10 of them, all claiming to be Kalki at the same time. So that simple example just shows how, that cheating propensity. How can, even if there's 2 people claiming to be, that means at least one of them is cheater. So that's just one example. So let me see if I can find that Prabhupada. So it's always nice to refer to Prabhupada's direct words. So we'll read a little bit. So this is a class given by Srila Prabhupada on 30th of September 1972 in Los Angeles on the same verse. Prabhupada. So, there are some remarkable points in this verse. Dasyu prayeshu rajasu. Rajasu means government. Raja, king or government. So monarchy is now abolished practically all over the world. Now it is democratic government. So this so-called democratic government or communist government, as they are going on, they will become rogues and thieves. Dasyu prayeshu. All the rogues, thieves, plunderers they will capture. But it is by vote. So, dasyu, just like plunderers, rogues, they, on the point of revolver, they take away your money. So they will take vote on the point of revolver. So this is the beginning of Kali Yuga. Only we have passed 5,000 years. But the duration of Kali Yuga is 432,000 of years. So only we have passed 5,000 years. So that so the human society is becoming so degraded that they are trying to forget God. That is their advancement of civilization. The more you deny existence of God and become a so-called rascal scientist, then you are advanced. This is the position. So this position will degrade so much after, say, 400,000 of years, gradually degrading, that at that time Krishna will come in his incarnation as Kalki. At that time, the Kalki's business will be simply to kill. That's all. No more. No more preaching of Krishna consciousness. Simply kill them. That is Kalki avatar. So, anyway. So we know from Bhagavad Gita verses, these famous verses, 4.7 and 4.8, when does the Lord appear? Why does he appear? So let's just remind ourselves by chanting this verse together. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam shrijamyaham. Krishna says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Let's chant the next one. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna says, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So we hear that now is called the Kali Yuga. We understand that there are the 4 cosmic ages. What are the ages? What are the 4 cosmic ages? Treta Yuga, Dvapar Yuga, Satya Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And what is they go in a cycle, but what's the general order? Which one is, in a cycle you cannot say which one is necessarily first, but often we say Satya Yuga, and so usually Dvapar Yuga comes next, isn't it? Because Dvapar means like 2, the second, and Treta means 3, the third. So usually Satya Yuga, Dvapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and then Kali Yuga. There's a nice verse here, I will try to find it. So this is a nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, verse 52. Krite yadhyayato vishnum tretayam yajato makhai dvapare paricharyayam kalo tadhari kirtanat. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dvapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, in the Satya Yuga, the human faculties were really on a high level, meaning the lifespan of human beings was how long in Satya Yuga? 100,000 years. The lifespan of human beings in Satya Yuga was 100,000 years. Their bodily stature and strength was really great, like human beings, like we are now. No, human beings were like really, really big, like giants. We would consider them as giants. Really big, really strong, really intelligent, really beautiful, all of the opulences, perfect memory, perfect culture. There was no kind of inauspicious things in society like nowadays. You have so many crime and this thing and that thing. So in Satya Yuga, basically everything was basically perfect. But we understand that as we progress through the ages, these good conditions, these good qualities decline. I guess I can reference now that, as Janava Mata mentioned, is that occasionally those 2 middle ages, the Treta Yuga and the Dvapar Yuga, are switched around. I don't know all the details of that, but I understand it's actually, there's a reference here, I can find it. Here it is. Here it is, yeah, exactly. I got the reference. Dvapare samanu prapte tritiye yuga paryaye chata parashara yogi vasavyam kalaya hare. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, verse 14. Sutta Goswami said, when the 2nd millennium overlapped the 3rd, the great sage Vyasadeva was born to Parashara in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu. Purport. There is a chronological order of the 4 millenniums, namely Satya, Dvapara, Treta, and Kali, But sometimes there is overlapping. During the regime of Vaivashvata Manu, there was an overlapping of the 28th round of the 4 millenniums, and the 3rd millennium appeared prior to the 2nd. In that particular millennium, Lord Sri Krishna also descends, and because of this, there was some particular alteration. So that's just a reference to say that sometimes the ages are swapped around, as it's in our case now, in our, what you can say.
Which means that the way to go back to Godhead was also different in those respective ages.
Yeah.
Because you've got, one is Stanga Yoga, isn't it? And the other one is sacrifices.
Yeah, so that was referenced in the previous one here. So in we'll continue that discussion. In the Satya Yuga, when the human beings had such a long lifespan and perfect memory, perfect intelligence, everything, the Yuga Dharma was to meditate on Lord Vishnu. So it was quite standard practice that people would sit down and meditate for 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years. No problem. But nowadays, myself, I cannot meditate for 5 minutes. Here it says in the Treta Yuga, by performing sacrifices. So we know in sacrifices we need all nice ingredients. We need the nice ghee. We need all the nice paraphernalias, which it's difficult to get ghee in many countries, what to speak of pure ghee. We need the qualified yajnik brahmanas, who can perfectly have a perfect character, perfectly pronounce all the Vedic mantras. Does anyone know what are some of the tests of a yajnik brahmana? Like, how do we know they are a qualified Vedic brahmana according to these Vedic times? Like, what are some of the things they could do related to chanting mantras? So I'll give you a clue. So nowadays, how do you light a fire? You go to the kitchen, how do you make the fire? You get the lighter? Or you get the matches? Huh? You snap the lighter. But how would the brahmanas light the fire? With the Vedic mantras. Yeah, so they would chant the Vedic mantras and this would ignite the fire. Anyone seen any brahmanas do that in any initiation or any kind of, yajna? No. And another test was that they could sacrifice an animal which would be reborn in a new body. So this is a misconception about animal sacrifices, previously mentioned in the verse about Lord Buddha, is that, over the course of Kali Yuga, people were taking the name of the Vedas and the Vedic practice of animal sacrifice just so that they can slaughter animals and eat the meat indiscriminately. But the purpose of sacrificing animals in Vedic yajnas was not to kill the animal and eat the animal, but it is basically a test of the efficacy of the yajna which was to then ensue. So say if they were going to have a yajna to, bless the king with a son or bless the kingdom with prosperity, then to begin they would chant mantras to light the fire. That's one test. The next test is they would sacrifice an old animal and would reborn in a new body. And that is another test to say, okay, these brahmanas are qualified, they know what they're doing, so it's likely that the yajna will be successful. Does that make sense? Okay. So just to recap, we cannot meditate for 30,000 years, we don't have that lifespan anyway. We cannot perform proper Vedic sacrifices. We do not have qualified brahmanas or qualified time, place, and circumstance and materials. And in Dvapara Yuga, by serving the Lord's lotus feet, also in some places mentioned deity worship. Again, the standards of personal cleanliness, time, place, and circumstances, the different paraphernalias. The Lord should be worshipped with the best gold, diamonds, rubies, silver, all these things. We are lucky in some of our temples, we may have some silver plates and things like that, but many places around the world, not possible to get these things. And in Kali Yuga, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So these are some reference given to the different recommended processes for achieving self-realization, God realization in the different ages. So one thing which came to mind when I was thinking of this verse is that, as we mentioned, the Lord comes when there is a decline in the religious practices and the conditions, and He comes to protect the devotees and re-establish the Dharma. And Lord Krishna came at the end of Dvapara Yuga, and we know that there was the big battle of Kurukshetra, Mahabharata, so many people were killed. But at least there was some sense of civilization. So if we can see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, Krishna, came at that time when Kali Yuga had, actually Kali Yuga was waiting to begin. He was already there actually, and Maharaj recently gave a class and he mentioned that the personality of Kali approached Lord Krishna at Kurukshetra and said, my Lord, I have no shelter, while you and your devotees and your dynasty are here, I have no shelter, I cannot do my service. So then the Lord himself said, it's okay, I will personally arrange for me and my family to disappear, then you can start your service of spreading the adharma, the Kali. And we know the story of how the Yadu dynasty was annihilated. I think it was Samba, one of the sons of Krishna, pretended to be pregnant, and he approached one sage, I forgot the name, and basically they were mocking him, and he cursed them that what you are carrying there, that will be the end of your dynasty. And from there was like a mace, and they said what to do, and they tried to grind it into a powder, they spread it on but the tip of the mace, they could not grind it. It was too hard. But the rest of it, the powder, they spread it out on the bank of the river or something. They came up in this type of grass. And then the Yadu dynasty, they took that grass and they killed each other. And that tip of the mace, that actually formed the tip of the arrow, which the hunter used to shoot Lord Krishna in the foot. And this way the Lord ended his pastimes. So I was thinking, okay, things were kind of bad when Krishna came, but Kali Yuga hadn't even begun. And now we still have 427,000 years left of Kali Yuga. Then Kalki will appear. We can't even imagine how bad things are going to be at the end of Kali Yuga when Kalki comes. So maybe we can just read a little bit some of these graphic descriptions from the 12th canto. This is chapter 2 of the 12th canto, The Symptoms of Kali Yuga. This chapter relates that when the bad qualities of the age of Kali will increase to an intolerable level, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will descend as Kalki to destroy those who are fixed in irreligion. After that, a new Satya Yuga will begin. As the age of Kali progresses, all good qualities of men diminish and all impure qualities increase. Atheistic systems of so-called religion become predominant, replacing the codes of Vedic law. The kings become just like highway bandits. The people in general become dedicated to low occupations, and all the social classes become just like Shudras. All cows become like goats. All spiritual hermitages become like materialistic homes, and family ties extend no further than the immediate relationship of marriage. Okay. So let's look at some of these descriptions, and then we'll get into the appearance of the Lord as Kalki. Shukadeva Goswami said, "Then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities, and law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. Men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction, and success in business will depend on deceit. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's experience, one's expertise in sex, and a man will be known as a Brahmana just by his wearing a thread. A person's spiritual position will be ascertained merely according to external symbols, and on that same basis people will change from one spiritual order to the next. A person's propriety will be seriously questioned if he does not earn a good living, and one who is very clever at juggling words will be considered a learned scholar. A person will be judged unholy if he does not have money, and hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal agreement, and a person will think he is fit to appear in public if he has merely taken a bath. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water, located at a distance, and beauty will be thought to depend on one's hairstyle. Which reminds me, I need a haircut. Filling the belly will become the goal of life, and one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. He who can maintain a family will be regarded as an expert man, and the principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. As the earth thus becomes crowded with a corrupt population, whoever among any of the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power. Losing their wives and properties to such avaricious and merciless rulers, who will behave no better than ordinary thieves, the citizens will flee to the mountains and forests. Harassed by famine and excessive taxes, people will resort to eating leaves, roots, flesh, wild honey, fruits, flowers, and seeds. Struck by drought, they will become completely ruined. The citizens will suffer greatly from cold, wind, heat, rain, and snow. They will be further tormented by quarrels, hunger, thirst, disease, and severe anxiety. The maximum duration of life for human beings in Kali Yuga will become 50 years. It says here in the Bhagavatam, 50 years. Yeah. By the time the age of Kali ends, the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, and the religious principles of followers of Varnashram will be ruined. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society, and so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. The kings will mostly be thieves, the occupations of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence, and all the social classes will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudras. Cows will be like goats, spiritual hermitage will be no different from mundane houses, and family ties will extend no further than the immediate bonds of marriage. Most plants and herbs will be tiny, and all trees will appear like dwarf shami trees. Clouds will be full of lightning, homes will be devoid of piety, and all human beings will have become like asses. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear on the earth. Acting with the power of pure spiritual goodness, he will rescue eternal religion. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of all moving and non-moving living beings, and the Supreme Soul of all, takes birth to protect the principles of religion and to relieve his saintly devotees from the reactions of material work. Lord Kalki will appear in the home of the most eminent Brahmana of Shambhala village, the great soul, Vishnu Yasha. So let's go to the picture of Kalki.
Is this the last part of Kali Yuga?
Yeah, this is the progression of Kali Yuga. So let's so as we now, just to kind of get towards the end of the class, let's read these beautiful descriptions of Lord Kalki, and we can try to meditate. Lord Kalki, the Lord of the universe, will mount his swift horse. Does anyone know the name of the horse of Lord Kalki? The name of the horse is Devadatta.
Why the Lord of the Universe? That's a good juggernaut.
Yeah, that's a good question. So all it's okay. All of the forms of the Lord are I can say, the Purusha incarnations. They're all the Lord of the Universe, different incarnations. Yeah. So he will mount his swift horse, Devadatta. You can see the nice horse on the screen. Nice, beautiful, white, shining horse, Devadatta. And the sword in hand. I do have the reference here to the name of the sword somewhere. He will use a blazing sword called Ratnamarga. That is from the Agni Puran reference. Ratnamarga, his sword. You can see his nice sword there. He will travel over the earth, exhibiting his 8 mystic opulences and 8 special qualities of Godhead, displaying his unequaled effulgence and riding with great speed. He will kill by the millions those thieves who have dared to dress as kings.
Is there some confusion with me? Kali and Lord Kalki.
So Kali is the name of the age, and Kalki is the name of the incarnation of the Lord. Sounds very similar, doesn't it? There's just one letter, the letter K. Interesting, huh? It's like if you put another K in Kali, if you put K for Krishna in Kali, it's like, then you can be spiritual. How to spiritualize the Kali Yuga? You put a K. K for Krishna, K for Kalki. Yeah. So beautiful. And let's just, I have some references here. We can just quickly look at that last few minutes. So yeah, another criteria or quality of incarnation is that they are referenced in the scriptures where they will be born. What are their parents' names? What do they look like? What is their appearance? What are their qualities? So some references here that the Kalki will appear at the junction of Kali and Satya Yuga, so the end of Kali Yuga. He is the son of Vishnu Yasha, born in the village Shambhala. Okay. So his parents are described, Vishnu Yasha and Sumati, his horse Devadatta, his sword Ratnamarga, etc. His activities are described here. You can see that. Some references from Agni Puran. Kalki will have a parrot green complexion, Haritala Sannibha. So what color is Krishna? Krishna is dark, blackish blue, the color of a dark monsoon, rain cloud. What color is Lord Ramachandra? Green. Ramachandra is green. What color is Lord Varahadev? Yeah, there's 2. And 1 millennium is red, and 1 is white. So the Lord's incarnations have different complexions. So Kalki is a parrot green complexion. His horse Devadatta will fly in the sky. He will use a blazing sword called Ratnamarga, etc. Okay, we've covered most of that. And let me just see if I had any final notes there too. One second. I thought I wrote some notes. So in the final 2 minutes or so, I didn't manage to copy and paste the exact references, but in this Kali Yuga, we're very lucky. Who has appeared in the Kali Yuga? This Kali Yuga? Lord Krishna in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, golden complexion Lord. And in this age of darkness and difficulty and quarrel and hypocrisy, we're very, very lucky and fortunate because Lord Chaitanya appeared around about only 500 years ago. You cannot imagine, so amazing. And he has made the process of God realization very, very blissful and ecstatic and simplified compared to previous ages. Does anyone know any references, any verses relating to the Yuga Dharma of this Kali Yuga, chanting Hare Krishna, or any verses from Lord Chaitanya which he... So that's one. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. I think that's from the Brihad Naradiya Purana. Lord Chaitanya quotes that verse that said, in this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way except for chanting the holy names, chanting the holy names, chanting the holy names. And there's one verse, and a couple of verses in the Bhagavatam. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti heko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangam param vrajet. I can find the reference later, but Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. In this age of Kali, there is only one good quality. Asti heko mahan guna. Guna means quality. Asti hek ek. Only one good quality in this age of Kali. Kalir doshani dhera janasti heko mahan kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. The only good quality in this age is the chanting of the names of Lord Krishna, which can give liberation. And there's another one in the Bhagavatam also. Krishna varnatusha krishnam sangopangasra parshadam yagye sankirtana praye yajanti hi sumedashaha. So this verse says that Krishna varnat visha krishnam means in this age of Kali, Lord Krishna has appeared not in a dark form, but a light form. Krishna varnat visha a Krishna. So in Sanskrit we know this prefix a. When we say dharma, it means religion. When we say adharma, it means irreligion. So when we say Krishna, it can mean like the dark complexion Krishna. If we say a Krishna, it means light, not dark. So in this age, Lord Krishna has appeared in a light complexion, golden complexion, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And instead of weapons, he is accompanied by his associates. And intelligent people in this age worship Lord Chaitanya by the performance of Harinam Sankirtan. So these are some nice references that although Kali Yuga is progressing every day, every month, every year, it just seems like the world is becoming a more miserable, dark place with so many disturbances happening. But within this 10,000 years golden period of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada's books. And the marathon is beginning tomorrow. And we can try and give these are like beacons of light in this dark age of Kali. Beacons of light we can give to the people to give them hope. And just to finish, this is Prabhupada's last paragraph from his class which he gave. So 427,000 of years, if we again come and go, because after dehantara praptihi, tatha dehantara praptihi. If you continue transmigration from one body to another, then you will have to meet that age. But before meeting that age, try to understand Krishna. This is our movement. Then in this life, in this very life, after giving up this body, you haven't got to come here again. Tyaktva deham punarjanmaneti, Bhagavad Gita 4.9. No more coming to this rascal world. Go back to home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, 1 minute over time. So basically the class is finished. I don't know if anyone has any comments, questions, corrections. I thought to just read this and maybe chant one verse. Oh, this is from the Dashavatara Stotra. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you, you appear like a comet and carry a terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga. So I will just attempt to so it's, you don't have to stay, but I will just try. It might take 1 minute. I will try. Yeah, it is. Kali Yuga is the Kali, Lord, like, but Kalki, you mean?
No. I thought it was related to Lord Kali, the one that the half
Kali, exactly. Kali. Yeah, that's Kali and Kali. Subtle difference. Sorry. Dhumaketum nipakemapi karalam Keshavadrita kalaki sharira Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Lechani Mahanitane Kalasi Karabala Tumaketamiva Kimapi Karalam Keshavadita Kalki Sharira Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Jaya Kalki Avatar Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Avakara Kamala Vare Naka Adbhuta Shringa